Okay, now, does this box look familiar? Magnetic suspension keyboard case with the big Samsung looking tablet on it. Open here. Some color information. Ultra thin, 1.3 millimeter, scissor corner. Seems awfully familiar, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, there's finally a suspension keyboard out there. Yeah, okay, so it's made for the S11 Ultra, so I'll just say that off the bat. I had one that I had bought for the S9 Ultra. You may remember I did a video on that. It's right here, and you can see that this one's got a slot for the S Pen, but it's otherwise exactly the same. They're made out of the same materials. It's going to be tricky to hold these both up, but they're the same materials. The only real differences are on the back with the camera cutout. You've got the camera cutouts that are different. The keyboards are the same. They have the same keys. Got that little smart key here. Got the button to do the pairing, button to turn off the touchpad. You got the Dex button up here, which, yeah, that's the S9 Ultra one. And then here's the one with my S11 in it. And you'll notice, let me take this tablet out lest I do horrible things with it. You'll notice that the keys are the same, which is kind of weird, right? Because yes, you still want to be able to turn off the touchpad. Yes, you still want to be able to pair. Yes, it's handy to have a little smart key here for the assistant, but you don't really need a Dex button anymore with the S11. If you're familiar with how Dex works on One UI 8, you really just kind of swipe up and then you're in it. You don't really need a button. It's not like a separate mode anymore. It's just a different arrangement of windows, but it's still here because this is the same keyboard. The only thing they've changed is this piece for the camera right here, because you don't have the cutout for the S Pen anymore. That angle problem that I had before of it not staying, of it just popping right back up, yeah, it's still here. It's ever so slightly more flexible than the other one was, but not in a way that makes it noticeably better or noticeably different. This is the same basic keyboard as the Sackei Magnetic Keyboard, and the boxes don't have brand names on them, so I'm going to assume, because there are now at least a couple different ones on Amazon that look exactly like this but have different brand names. I'm not going to buy all of them because I don't think that they're really different. I think that they are all basically the same. When you get this little sticker that tells you how to pair, you got your function and that control key or that C key for the pairing. You can turn off the touchpad. Even this name that it shows here, this HL keyboard, it's the exact same name that shows up when I paired the Sackei keyboard, or however you pronounce that brand. So I think they are all the same. Whatever HL keyboard is, whatever OEM or ODM, original device manufacturer, original equipment manufacturer, or whatever, who's making these keyboards, they're just being sold under different names and different sellers on Amazon, but I think they're all the same. They all have the same, it's really hard to see, but they all have the same button layout where you've got the power button in the front and you've got the USB-C port on the back. It's kind of hard. There you can see power button in the front and the USB-C in the back. So yes, it's exactly the same keyboard as before, except now, graciously, the magnets work and it fits right here on the keyboard as you would expect. There's no issues with it fitting. There's no issues with it working. I've been able to connect to it successfully. It comes on, it works as you would expect. It types exactly like the last one. It feels and behaves exactly like the last one. It pairs exactly like the last one because, again, the only difference is the cutout for the camera and the placement of the magnets. So the complaints that I had before about not being able to really adjust it very much, you know, obviously if you're about to close it, you're going to pull it all the way back. But when you want to use it, the angle that you get, you don't get a lot of angle. So if you're used to an Apple Magic Keyboard, if you're used to even the keyboard that I reviewed for the Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Plus, that one has a lot more angle availability on it than this one does. And again, I'm assuming it's because it's such a big and heavy keyboard that it's just harder to get that balance so that you can bend it back without having the keyboard come up a lot, because this keyboard piece, while it is heavy because there's a battery in there, it's not that heavy, and the tablet is pretty heavy. So if you want to fold it back more than this, you probably need to make it even heavier. And I'm guessing that they don't think that people want to buy a keyboard case that's much heavier than this because it is pretty heavy. So if you thought the last keyboard for the S9 Ultra was not your cup of tea, there's no reason why this one would be your cup of tea. And if you bought the one for the S9 Ultra and now you have an S11 Ultra and you were okay with the S9 Ultra's keyboard, with this keyboard for the S9 Ultra, you know, this one, if you were okay with this one for the S9 Ultra, then you'll be okay with this one for the S11 Ultra, because there is really almost no difference other than those two basic things with this back piece, the magnets and the cutout. It's the same. I don't know what else I can say about it. I do think that for what it is, it's overpriced. These keyboards, this style for the S11 Ultra, they're all around $180. Some a little bit less, some a little bit more, but they're all right around that price range. I don't personally think that it's worth that amount of money, but I bought it. So what does that tell you? I bought it twice, basically, because I bought it for the S9 Ultra and I bought it for the S11 Ultra, because it is the only one that's out right now, at least this style. Like I said, there are a couple of different sellers on Amazon selling what I believe is this exact same case. If you see that little button, you know, the little ribbed button on the front and the USB on the side, and you see, you know, the command button with the little question, with the little searching magnifying glass, and you see the C with the little pair, and you see the DeX button, you know it's the same keyboard. It feels fine. It's fine to type on. It has good key travel. That 1.3 millimeters does feel nice. The touchpad works. It does get a little wonky sometimes when you go to scroll, but otherwise it is the exact same. So if you watch the review of the S9 Ultra, the Sackei Magnetic Keyboard case for the S9 Ultra, it is the exact same experience, exact same feel, exact same issues and pros and cons of that one. So I will say that I have seen a two-piece case for this that I'm going to be picking up, and I will compare to this one in an upcoming video, which will give more of a surface-like experience, kind of like what we had with the Pro keyboard for the S9 Ultra series before the S11. You had the back piece with the kickstand, and then you had the separatable piece with the connection down here, the magnetic connection down here, and you could just pull the keyboard off and you'd still have the kickstand. I have ordered a case like that, a little bit cheaper, obviously a different kind of experience because you don't have the Magic Keyboard experience with that one. You have the two-piece, but that is something that some people really like, so I want to get that one and compare it and review it against this one. So be on the lookout for that video, probably hitting sometime next week. But in the meantime, there are 2 or 3 keyboards out there like this for this S11 Ultra. If you really want a keyboard like me, obviously, because again, I bought this, paid for it with my own money, then it works. It's fine. It hasn't crashed my tablet. I haven't had any surprising issues. It works exactly as it should. It's perfectly usable. I do wish that it folded back just a little bit more, but it's functional. It works. I just think it's very overpriced for what it is. I do believe that Samsung will be coming out with a keyboard case someday, hopefully before Christmas, but if not, then probably the beginning of next year. If you're not in a hurry, if you have this keyboard case for the Samsung, the slim keyboard, and you've been using this and you're okay with this, then I'd say keep using it until Samsung comes out with their Pro keyboard with a touchpad, because although I do think it will cost a lot more than this, I do expect that it will be better. I expect that it will be better, but my expectations could be dashed. Anyway, I wouldn't spend nearly $200 on this right now, especially if you already bought the Samsung Slim keyboard. I'd hold on to that and then see what Samsung comes out with. And if it is super overpriced, or my expectations and your expectations are completely dashed by that, but then you can come back to this one. That's my best recommendation right now. But this works. If you want to buy it, it's out there. I'll have a link in the description. And that's about all I can say about this keyboard case. Questions, comments, you know where to put them. Thanks for watching.